Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back ranking all 9 movies in the Elm Street franchise. There are 9 movies in the Elm Street franchise, and I'm going to rank all of them. Like with all of my other rankings, I will start with my least favorite and work my way to my favorite. I base this on nostalgia, rewatchability, and overall enjoyment. Please keep in mind, this is just my personal opinion, and you don't have to agree. Jason will also be ranking this franchise, so be sure to check out his video to see how his ranking compares to mine. So, here we go. This is A Nightmare on Elm Street, ranked. In last place, I have Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, or A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 6. This is an interesting one for me, because I actually have a lot of nostalgia for this movie. I saw it in theaters on opening night. Jason and I gave it a positive spin a while back, so there are things I do like about it. But overall, I'm really not a huge fan of Freddy's Dead. There's always been something off about this film for me. The setting, the story, just the overall feel of the movie. And honestly, I really don't like the characters too much. The Elm Street films definitely got sillier as they went on, but Freddy's Dead takes the cake. This is where I feel the franchise crossed the line and became too silly. The Final Nightmare, in my opinion, is just okay. That's why I have Freddy's Dead, dead last. In 8th place, as much as I hate to do it, I have Wes Craven's New Nightmare. It's not that I don't like this film. At one point, I loved it, and it was very high in this ranking. Over the years, though, I find that it's just not as rewatchable for me as most of the others. It's longer than the rest, for one thing, and the pacing is slightly off. There are things I love about it, the whole meta aspect for one, but as a whole, New Nightmare is not one of my favorites. Unfortunately, it's second to last in my Elm Street ranking. Freddy vs. Jason comes in at number 7. I saw this the day it came out and absolutely loved it. I ate it up, like a lot of other people. We had been waiting for this showdown for years, but like New Nightmare, over time, it sort of lost its luster for me. I still think it's a lot of fun, but a bit too hokey at times. I do love Monica Keena as Final Girl Laurie, though. I also like Jason Ritter as Will. In fact, I generally like this cast for the most part. I guess I just have to be in the right mood for this one. Freddy vs. Jason comes in at number 7 in my Elm Street ranking. Now here's where I'm about to shock some people, but that's fine because this is just my opinion. Next up, I have A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, at number 6. Yes, I know that's awfully low for a lot of people. Many would probably have this ranked at number 2 or even number 1. This is clearly one of the favorites for most people in the franchise, but not for me. I like it, I do. In fact, I love it for the most part. But I do consider Dream Warriors to be one of the most overrated horror films, maybe of all time. I do have a lot of nostalgia for it though, so there's that. Part of me does want to rank it higher for that reason, but I just can't justify it. I enjoy the rest of the films coming up in this ranking even more. So A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 remains at number 6. Amazing VHS cover art though. that's an irrefutable point. A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, is up next at number 5. This is the film that has most improved in my ranking over time. This used to be one of my last place movies in the franchise. Upon rewatch after rewatch, though, I've really learned to appreciate it for what it is. I think it helps to know what went on behind the scenes in the making of The Dream Master. Elm Street 4 is like the MTV music video version of an Elm Street sequel. The kills are awesome in this one, and this is probably when Freddy was at his peak popularity. I mean, he's on the beach, wearing sunglasses, and people loved it. It sucks that they killed off the surviving Dream Warriors, but it led to Alice being the final girl in this film and the next. And she's my favorite final girl in this franchise. So, as they say, one door closes and another opens. This is a trippy movie, and I love it more and more each time I watch it. For now, A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, sits at number 5. In 4th place, I have A Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake. Yes, I know. A lot of you hate this movie. I get it. I understand. You've made your opinions heard time and time again. But guess what? This is my opinion, and I love this film. Do I love everything about it? No. But do we have to love everything about something to love it? I think Jackie Earle Haley did a great job as Freddy Krueger. I like that we get to see more of his backstory in this remake. This one does something the original was reluctant to do, so I appreciate it for being bold. And overall, I think it's a much better remake than people give it credit for. Hey, what can I say? I love the Elm Street remake. It's number 4 in my ranking. In 3rd place, I have yet another hated Elm Street movie by the masses. A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. Believe it or not, this was always one of my favorite Elm Street films. It's probably the sequel I rented most as a kid. It was the image of Greta coming out of the refrigerator on the back of this VHS tape that kept bringing me back to it. As I got older, though, it was the storyline that I loved. It's brilliant. Freddy can no longer get to Alice in her nightmares because she's the Dream Master, so he gets to her through her unborn child's dreams. I think that's so clever. We also get some more of Freddy's backstory in this one. I love the opening shower nightmare scene. And Elm Street 5 contains what I consider to be the best kills in the franchise. They're even better on tape, too. This here is the uncensored version, not available on any other format. This is definitely one of the Freddy films I've seen the most. I love A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. It's number 3 in my ranking. In 2nd place, wow, yeah, I know, the original, A Nightmare on Elm Street. It's a classic, no doubt. I love it. I've watched it countless times in my life. I don't think I need to say much about it. This would probably be most people's number 1 or number 2, depending on where they rank Dream Warriors. It really just comes down to this. There's another Elm Street movie I prefer more. This is when Freddy was at his scariest, though. The original, A Nightmare on Elm Street, is number 2. Because A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, is my favorite film in the Elm Street franchise. Jason and I both discussed this movie recently in controversial view videos. Please be sure to check those out if you haven't, because much of what I'd want to say in this video, I already covered in that. To summarize, I enjoyed the fact that this sequel had a final guy instead of a final girl. There aren't a ton of final guy horror films, although there are some, as you know from our monthly theme Thursday videos, and Jesse, no matter how you see him, is a final guy. I also love the school bus sequence. The pool party is iconic, and I actually really like the direction this film went, although I know a lot of other people would disagree. Freddy was still scary in this one, and I love this sequel. This is the Freddy film I've watched the most, because it is my favorite. A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, is my #1 favorite movie in the Elm Street franchise. So, there you have it, guys. My ranking of all 9 movies in the Elm Street franchise. What do you think? How would you rank these films? Comment below and let me know. As always, don't forget to check out Jason's video to see how he has A Nightmare on Elm Street ranked. Which franchise will we rank next? Check back soon to find out. Until then, remember, physical media matters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind. Subscribe.